2 weeks ago, rising star Sebastian Loeb drove to a convincing win in the Monte Carlo Rally. But a 2-minute penalty cost him the victory that was eventually awarded to Tommi Mäkinen. Now the World Championship moves from asphalt to the ice and snow of Sweden. In the 50-year history of this event, a Scandinavian driver has won every Swedish rally. It was here last year when Mäkinen began the last stage, challenging for the lead. But a mistake ended his day in the trees. Now the 4-time champion returns with new motivation from his Subaru team. Can he make up for last year? Can Loeb and Citroën make up for the last rally? Will we see a non-Scandinavian win for the first time? The Swedish Rally is next. Scandinavia, in the very north of Europe, a mysterious land of ice and snow where daylight is at a premium and the sport of rallying as we know it was born. Previously run on open roads, the Scandinavians introduced special stages run on closed roads in the 1950s. No wonder then that this is considered the spiritual home of rallying. Each year, the World Rally Championship pays 2 visits to the area, for the Rally of Finland in late summer, and for the only true winter event in the series, the Swedish Rally. Traditionally, the second round of the World Championship, the Swedish Rally, is based around the city of Karlstad, about 300 kilometers from the capital of Stockholm. Subaru's Tommi Mäkinen arrived in Sweden as a championship point leader, following his controversial win at the opening round in Monte Carlo. Citroën's young French star Sebastian Loeb and his co-driver Daniel Elena were actually the fastest on the stages and sprayed the champagne as rally winners. However, the pair ran under an appeal on the final day after their team performed an illegal tire change. Citroën withdrew that appeal 4 days after the rally finished, handing Mäkinen his 4th Monte Carlo Rally win in a row, his 24th World Rally victory in total, making him the most successful driver in the history of the World Championship. From the Kenyan plains to tarmac mountain roads and from snow to gravel, Mäkinen's won on them all.
It's good feeling that still I don't think it's so important for me. It's most important to having good feeling in the team and good success with ourselves, all of us. We are doing our work at the moment. Maybe afterwards, after a few years, it's very, very nice memories, but at the moment it's not.
Do you think you can get that 25th victory here in Sweden?
We have done a lot of test kilometers. I have done 6 days, which is most what I ever done for this rally, and car feels good.
From the 1970s and the likes of Stig Blomqvist and Per Eklund to last year's winner Harry Rovanperä, this event has never been won by a non-Scandinavian, and no fewer than 7 former winners start this year's Swedish Rally.
We were born on snow, so it's a natural type of driving, whatever, if you drive a tractor or car or whatever, you are playing on snow and it's very familiar to you.
There are some drivers here like Colin who have done more Swedish Rally than me. But of course I'm quite a bit more used to drive on these conditions, which can help sometimes if it start to be really difficult conditions and so on.
Carlos, Colin, Richard are always fast here also. It's only a time, the question of time when they can win here.
Colin McRae set a string of fastest stage times here last year, but a lengthy visit to a snowbank cost him any chance of victory.
Judging on last year's speed, then yeah, we have a very good chance. Again, it's a new year, it's different conditions again. The big thing this year is going to be whether the snow is going to thaw or the ice is going to thaw or stay on the ground, so it's going to be a bit down to tyres.
McRae's teammate Carlos Sainz has finished second here 3 times. He too wants to break the Scandinavian stranglehold. The Ford team, however, would start with only 2 cars when Marco Martin was forced to withdraw after damaging his suspension on the shakedown stage just a few hours before the start. Like Colin McRae, the world champion Richard Burns, now at Peugeot, saw any chance of victory last year in a Subaru end with a costly trip into a snowbank, but the event is still one of his favorites.
so much fun to drive here that you just let yourself go, you know, and relax, and that's the best way to get good times.
Sebastian Loeb has little knowledge of the event, but will be out to show his more experienced teammate Thomas Radstrom that he's as quick on the snow as he was in Monte Carlo. Skoda easily have the most experienced team, including three-time winner Kenneth Eriksson and Stig Blomqvist, who has won his home rally an incredible 7 times. The Bravery Prize, however, must go to Hyundai's Freddie Lois, who's hobbling around on crutches after breaking his foot in an accident in Monte Carlo. Mitsubishi, meanwhile, have a not-so-secret weapon, Finland's Jani Pasanen, making his debut in a Lancer World Rally car. Stay with us, leg 1 set to begin from Sweden.
The FIA World Rally Championship, presented by Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive.
Welcome back to Sweden. We're getting set for leg 1 of the 2002 Swedish Rally. I'm your host, Ralph Shaheen. Now, this year's Swedish Rally has nearly 248 miles of stages spread out over the 3 days. Day 1 saw the first 5 of those stages, first to the east, then north, and then east again of the single service area in the town of Hagfors. The morning began cold and clear, but the forecasted snow showers weren't far away. Temperatures hovered around freezing, mild for this event, but still cold enough to leave even the locals needing extra clothing. The opening stage was a little over 8.5 miles long, and thanks to Virtual Spectator, we can take a closer look at the Sagen stage. It's a fast, flowing road which runs along a frozen lake at one point before a series of long straights punctuated with hairpin bends leading up to the stage finish. Even on the snow and ice, the crews would expect to average around 70 miles an hour. A Finn would be first to tackle Sagen, championship leader Tommi Mäkinen. A covering of loose snow lay over the road surface, which meant the Subaru would be clearing a path for the others.
200. Huomio, pitkä vasen nopea. 4. Pitkä K oikein plus aukee. 200. Pitkä K vasen aukee. 7. Nyppy täys 4. Pitkä helppo oikein aukee. 100. Nyppy 9. Helppo vasen aukee. 150. Huomio, pitkä oikein nopea plus helppo aukee vähän. Ja vasen 6. Pitkä K oikein miinus. Heti pitkä vasen eri. Aukee.
Once again partnered by stand-in co-driver Kai Lindström, Mäkinen had chosen an ice pattern tire for the first pair of stages. The choice looked to have been a poor one. A more open pattern might have worked better on the fresh snow. The frustrated Finn could only manage to set the 17th fastest time. Unlike Mäkinen on Pirellis, Sebastian Loeb runs on Michelin tires. Yet the pair set exactly the same time to the 10th of a second on stage 1. Loeb was possibly also handicapped by his road position, since Thomas Radstrom in an identical car was second fastest. Third to leave the start line was Carlos Sainz and his co-driver Luis Moya in a Ford Focus.
Rasante derecha rápida, menos se cierra poco. Sasar. Para izquierda rápido José esta de cierra y se abre. Abrirse. Izquierda rápida, menos se cierra poco. A fondo. Para 1.
The Spanish pair set the 7th fastest time through the stage, just 0.2 of a second slower than their teammates Colin McRae and Nicky Grist.
Right tightens the 4 class. And 6 left, and 6 right. 30, 6 crest, 120.
Both the factory Ford drivers, however, were beaten by the privately run Focus of Jani Tuohino. who was 5th quickest. The Finn was on Michelin tires, while the Works cars were on Pirellis. The French rubber seemed to work better in the snow, as Marcus Grönholm demonstrated.
Helppo ja hae vasen eri jouhee. 8 ja oikein pitkä eri tarkkana, kirraa vähän. 100. Ja oikein laita 5 vasen eri miinus sumppuun.
The winner of the Swedish Rally 2 years ago set the quickest time, taking an early lead. Stay with us, plenty more of the big names yet to go, including world champion Richard Burns. Welcome back to the truly frozen tundra. Petter Solberg finished 6th in Monte Carlo, despite setting some impressive stage times. The young Norwegian must have hoped his luck had changed, but he quickly discovered a problem with his brakes and wasted no time in telling his co-driver, Phil Mills.
Opens 80.
The brakes are completely wrong.
6 right plus of a crest, 80. Line into early 3, right plus keep in 20, 2 left minus tightens.
Solberg didn't know it yet, but he bent a switch that controls the handbrake, and so his front wheels were locking going into the corners. Hardly confidence-inspiring when you're driving on sheet ice, covered with a sprinkling of fresh snow.
Short 4 left, into 4 right minus half, long tightens 20, late hairpin left, double tightens. 100. 6 left plus, into early 6 right, into 5 left minus keep in, 40, short 2 right.
We destroyed so much now, Phil.
What's up with them?
I have a problem with the front brakes. It's locking completely, so when I'm going into corner, the car just goes straight. So I lost a lot of time, I will tell you.
Solberg's former teammates Richard Burns and Robert Reed had no such worries. 4th fastest on stage 1.
70. Slight left, 20. Flat right, 20. Flat left, braking and left mags.
French cars in back occupied all of the first 4 places. Harry Rovanpera demonstrating his best left foot braking technique on his way to the 3rd quickest time. Let's go on board now with the man that finished 5th in last year's championship, Harry Rovanpera, and his co-driver, Risto Pistolainen.
Haen nyppy keskeltä, pitkä oikein, helppo miinus kääntyy. 7, vasen eri miinus ja huomio 5. Varo lyhyt, vasenkoon pidä. Pitkä oikein, nopee. Toistan, varo lyhyt, vasenkoon pidä, pitkä oikein, nopee. 3. Nyppy oikein, laita 2. Pitkä vasen eri. 5. Hae oikein eri miinus. 400. Hae nyppy yli. 400 oli matka ja hae nyppy yli, oikein helppo kääntyy. 102.
Another driver who brakes with his left foot is Freddie Loix. Not easy when that left foot is broken and you've got to use crutches to walk around. 23rd fastest. Loix's problem is clear as he changes tires on the road section after the stage. This then was the first leaderboard of the 2002 Swedish Rally. Marcus Grönholm, Thomas Radstrup, Harry Rovanpera, and Richard Burns making it a stage to remember for Peugeot and Citroën. Yanni Tuohino led the 3 Ford Focuses, which followed them, with another privateer in 11th place, Thomas Kruchar from Poland in a Toyota Corolla. You'd be hard-pressed to find a NASCAR track with a Bullwinkle crossing. Stay with us, Stage 2 action coming up. Stage 2, a 15-mile affair at Ramen, saw more fresh snow, and the spectators had their own ways of keeping warm. Tighten your seatbelts. You're now riding with former world champion Colin McRae and co-driver Nicky Grist in the Ford Focus.
5 left opens. 170. 6 crest. Into 6 crest. 170. Left tightens to 5. 120.
Yanni Tuohino was again the fastest Ford driver, with Colin McRae 7th fastest, making slight adjustments to his pace notes as he went along.
2
Sorry, 500.
Faster.
Okay. 350.
The Cray was almost caught out at one point. His amazing recovery drawing praise from Grist. Petter Solberg was far happier on stage 2. A chat on the telephone with his engineers had helped cure his problems. The Subaru was 5th fastest and now back up to 10th overall.
Left over crest 100, slippy brake in slow, crest into slippy, 1 right plus, tightens minus.
Still, Solberg would be happy to reach the service area and let his mechanics sort things out once and for all. Once again, a Peugeot would set the fastest time, but it wouldn't be Marcus Grönholm. With his 206 sporting rear bodywork damage, Grönholm was second quickest, but still led the rally.
Ehkä jouheen 8. Ja nyppy 7 oikein pirun pitkä eri yli nyppy tarkkana.
Peugeot's in fact set all of the top 3 times on stage 2. Richard Burns seemed to be coming to terms with his new car. He was both 3rd fastest and 3rd on the leaderboard.
Flat left and flat left, 100, medium left plus long and tightens long. Slight crest to medium right, camber and tightens. 150. Fast left minus to fast left long.
Further down the order, Kenneth Eriksson and co-driver Tina Turner were 10th fastest and headed the Skoda Challenge in 11th place, ahead of both Tony Gardemeister and Stig Blomqvist.
Go.
On board now with Alistair McRae and David Senior.
Slow easy right minus on crest and flat left and slow easy right minus on crest. 50. Easy left opens 30. Slow easy right. Straight 50. Flat right. Straight 100. Flat left 70. Flat left to minus 50. Long flat left on crest tightens to minus. And long flat right into flat left 70. Flat right on crest tightens to minus into easy left plus opens 30.
Alistair McRae was less than 3 seconds slower than Big Brother Colin on the stage, but his Mitsubishi's rear bumper suggested a close encounter with a snowbank. The team's newcomer, Jani Passanen, bore similar damage, but he was now up to 5th overall after just 2 stages in his new car.
Mitkä on sen goal? 250.
12 months ago, this event saw Harry Rovanpera's first for Peugeot. He went on to win the rally and obviously enjoys the conditions. He was fastest on stage 2, moving up into 2nd place behind Grönholm and helping to make it an all-Peugeot top 3. Watch as Harry Rovanpera dances on the pedals.
Sisältä 3 ja huomio, pitkä oikein goal. Aukeen 100, huomio, jarru, nyppy ja vasennopea risteys.
Freddie Loix's struggle with his broken foot was continuing. He was 10th fastest, and the Hyundai had moved up to 19th place. But the Belgian was complaining of a lack of feeling in his foot. Think about that for a second. It's a broken foot with no feeling, and Loix is going even quicker. Truly an impressive drive.
Lange top 75, rechts onder de 61. Die gaat niet afkomen. Lange top.
Second fastest on stage 1, Thomas Radstrom was determined to show Citroën that he was more than a match for Sebastian Loeb. Perhaps that's why he pushed a little too hard on stage 2.
Then medium right plus tightens. To crest, 50 cushion crest and 10 back left. Thomas, come on. We are on the road. We are back. Engine.
Shit, Dennis, sorry.
Where are we now? Okay, come on, Thomas, it's not the end. First gear, please. Bad left minus narrow. And keep concentration, okay? 80. Hard right, 50. Easy left minus on crest.
More fan.
Sorry, more fan?
Yes.
Where is the bloody fan? 70, long medium left tightens, minus wrong deuce.
A close call for Radstrom not only leaves him searching for traction, but to regain his rhythm.
Fast right, minus, okay. Fast right, minus, 80 crest.
So at the end of stage 2, Gronholm holds the lead over Rovanperä, Burns, and Tuahino.
Richard, top 4 on the first 2 stages of the rally, a great start.
Yeah, really good, really good. Not quite as fast as Harry and Marcus, but I think they got a little bit more experience in both the rally and the car. So to be just within sort of 12 seconds of them both is good enough at the moment.
Marcus leading the rally after 2 stages, a great start for you.
Yeah, not so bad. It's good. The second stage was not so fantastic. It was quite a lot of snow, and the first cars, it's not so nice for them. So I was also sliding everywhere, so it was not so good time.
We hit the snowbank too hard with the left rear, and then the car turned around straight away between the snowbanks. And luckily we doesn't hit anything serious, something hard in the ditch.
Yanni, 5th after 2 stages. What a terrific start, and the new team and new car.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at this place, but it's okay. But I drive carefully, and I learning to car, and I learning to team working and everything.
Tommy, 32.8 seconds you lost over those 2 stages. Why?
It started snowing a lot, and it's full cover of snow. I think at least 1.5 inch came fresh snow, very wet snow, and we couldn't get the tire goes through the snow easily onto the ice.
So you like fan participation with your motorsports? Check out the World Rally. When we come back, it's tailor-made for you. Stage 3 at over 26 miles was the longest of the entire rally, giving the fans plenty of time to amuse themselves. Running second on the road meant Sebastian Loeb was helping Tommy Mäkinen to sweep away the loose snow. The Citroën went into stage 3 in 23rd place, but would come out of it having lost around 3 minutes. On board now with Sebastian Loeb and Daniel Elena in the Citroën. Into the woods goes Loeb. Finally, he gets the car started, gets it to move, and then sticks it in the snowbank again. The two struggle to get the car moving. Then finally, Daniel Elena, the co-driver, calls for the fans to come over and help give him a push. The snowbank just too much for the crowd to get the Citroën loose. Now watch as Elena finally gets frustrated, crawls out of the car, and runs around the backside. He'll show up on the left side of the screen. The co-driver figuring he can help lead the push. There's Elena to give a hand. Still, the Citroën is going nowhere. Loeb finally jumps out to give a hand himself. With nobody inside the cockpit, everybody gathers around the front. Loeb crawls back in. One more big heave, and the Citroën breaks free. Now watch as Loeb starts to drive away, and Elena crawls back in. While Loeb is driving, Elena's still got to buckle back up. But he better learn how to do it on the fly. Colin McRae, on the other hand, was one of a number of drivers to benefit from events on the stage. Despite only setting the 7th fastest time, Stage 3 saw McRae beat Tuahino by nearly 13 seconds. And so it was now the Scot who led the Ford attack.
30, dip, and about 3 left.
Marcos Grönholm again set the 2nd fastest time behind his Peugeot colleague, Harry Rovanperä. But by now, the rally lead had changed hands. Check out the focus and intensity in Grönholm's eyes.
Vasen eri 5 ja oikein eri tiukka. Saataan ja nyt vasen laita oikein eri. 7. Vasen eri vähän ahdas. 100 ja oikein pitkä nopea risteys. 100. Täys.
A lot else had changed too. With just 25 seconds covering 3rd to 10th places, any mistakes would be swiftly and cruelly punished, as Richard Burns discovered.
Flat right to right, Max.
Around a minute and a half were lost on the stage, dropping Burns from 3rd to 18th.
Flat right to right, Max 70, right, Max.
Easy right on crest.
More fortunate were Alistair McRae and David Sr., even if the pair did lose yet another bumper.
70. Flat left over small crest, braking straight 100, care easy left minus, tightens in at the end here. 70.
Welcome back to the Swedish Rally. For the 2nd stage in a row, Harry Rovanperä set the fastest time, a full 12.6 seconds faster than Grönholm, so it was now Rovanperä who led. On board now with Harry Rovanperä.
Pitkä oikein täys, lopussa sisään jatkaa Pirun pitkä vasen täys. Aukee yli 5. Oikein täys 102. Vasen tosi täys ylös 200.
But the performance which stunned many observers came from Freddie Loix. He might have had a broken foot and hadn't done much testing as a result, but he and Sven Smeets were 3rd fastest on the stage and left from 19th place to 5th. Out of sight of our cameras, Thomas Radstrom repeated his mistake from stage 2. But this time wasn't so lucky. As the view from Juha Käkkinen's car shows, the Citroen was well off the road this time, and despite the efforts of a crowd of marshals and spectators, Radstrom and co-driver Denny Jurade lost over 7.5 minutes stuck in the snow. When they eventually broke free, Jurade had to run to catch up. He'd been warning other crews to slow down, and Radstrom didn't fancy another car catching him on the outside of the bend and pushing him back into the snow. Now watch as Radstrom drives away, tightening his own belts and steering with his knees. Don't try that one on a snowy road. It's been a frustrating year for Radstrom. The crew didn't even get to start the Monte Carlo rally due to mechanical problems, but now a frustrating day here in the snows of Sweden.
This is about right. To crest to 5.
Back in 1984, when Radstrom turned 18 and got his driver's license, just 3 days later he tackled his first ever rally, borrowing his mother's Volvo. With so many of the championship regulars having trouble, there were some unfamiliar names on the leaderboard. Marcos Grönholm's cousin, Sebastian Lindholm, in a privately run Peugeot, was 8th fastest and was now in 6th place overall, while the damage to the rear of the car seemed strangely familiar. Yet another Finn, Jani Passanen, was continuing his stunning debut for Mitsubishi. 10th quickest was enough to lift the newcomer into 3rd place. He and co-driver Arturo Kapanen had promised a steady run before the rally started, so perhaps even they were surprised by their speed. So after just 3 stages, the top 3 was an all-Finnish affair, with a Scotsman and an injured Belgian in hot pursuit. So for now, the Scandinavian streak is alive, and how about Loics, broken foot and all in 5th.
Harry, you're now leading with 10 seconds on the board. You obviously found some speed on the last stage.
Of course, we need ride today and pushing because tomorrow is new day and we don't know what is the weather and everything. And
Richard, damage on the car. You've lost quite a lot of time. What happened?
I went off on a very fast piece and went into the snow on the outside of the corner, and unfortunately it blocked all the front, the air intake and the radiator and everything. So within a few kilometres the engine was starting to overheat. We stopped. Robert got out and scooped all the snow out, and then we carried on.
Freddie, for a man with a broken foot, 5th overall after 3 stages is a great result so far.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the result at the moment. The car is working perfect. We took the car from Juha and Armin, set up. We only did the shakedown, and I have to say that I feel very good in the car. I have no pain. It's also very important, so until now things are going very well.
Essentially, driving's quite easy because moving his foot up and down isn't painful. Twisting it from side to side is, which is why you see Freddie getting out of the car with the crutches, because we don't want him to twist on his foot and put any weight on it.
The first of the nighttime stages are up next. The day's final pair of stages were again to the east of Hagfors, but you'd have been forgiven for thinking the rally was in Finland, not Sweden. First into those stages, as they had been all day, were Tommy Mäkinen and Kai Lindström. It hadn't been the best of days for the pair. Their road position plus their poor tire choice had left the pair in 19th place going into stage 4. That brush with a snowbank seemed innocent enough, but the Impreza's radiator was blocked by the snow and the car was soon limping along, hazard lights flashing. The rally's first major retirement was surely now a formality.
Up. There's a junction. We stop at the junction 13 on the stage number 4. We must stop here.
Sure enough, a sky-high engine temperature meant the 3-time winner of the Swedish Rally was out. Even a last-ditch attempt at using water from his drink bottle was doomed.
I don't know, the engine just overheated. I think that there was when we stopped the car, there was a little bit snow on the nose. Maybe it blocked the air going into the radiator, but it wasn't completely blocked. I don't understand why it is overheated.
Another Finn, Marcus Grönholm, fared much better. Second fastest for the 3rd stage in a row. Grönholm was still in 2nd place, but now lay just 3.2 seconds behind the leader.
Nyppy 2 ja vasen hidas takavino. Pois jo. Oikea täysyli Nypy 7. Oikea eri miinus sumpuu ja Nyppy vasen pirupitkä eri miinus kirraa lopussa. 5. Ja vasen täys 120. Oikea eri helppo jatkuu oikea eri. Vasen täys. 100, vasen eri helppo 8. Oikein nopea sumppu ja vasen nopea.
The leader was still Harry Rovanperä, but he was only 6th quickest. Mäkinen wasn't the only victim of stage 4, however. Armin Schwarz was lucky to escape an excursion into yet another snowbank. But both his lights and nearly 5 minutes were lost. Fastest on stage 4 was Thomas Radström, but the Citroen was still over 8 minutes down on Rovanperä and Grönholm. So yet, after stage 4, Rovanperä continues to lead. Grönholm, McRae, and Passanen chasing. Welcome back to the 2002 Swedish Rally. I'm Ralph Shaheen. Now it's time for our onboard segment. And as you start to watch this, pay attention to the co-driver, also known as a navigator. they're going to bark out orders to the driver. And it's imperative that they make those orders quickly and crisply and cleanly so the drivers can hear. And remember, the navigator's always working 2 or 3 corners ahead.
And easy left and right.
On board, Alistair McRae.
Right and open hairpin left. 50. Flat left and flat right. And braking flat left 30.
Now you're riding with Juha Kekkonen.
100. Stop op voor. 100. Jump op voor. 150. Links 102 min. Opent zeer lang. Links 102 min. Opent zeer lang. Links 102 min. Opent zeer lang. En 50. Links opent zeer lang en 50. Links 130 kort. En 50 links 130 kort. Om wordt 100 rechts 80. Om wordt 100 rechts 80. Zeer lang. Om 100. Zeer lang hè. Om 100. Om 100. Top 25. Links 122. Kort afval. Om 100. Rechts 152 afval couperen en rechts afval. 250 en rechts afval. 250. Rechts 122 couperen om 50. Links 110. Zeer zeer lang. Rechts 122 couperen om 50. Links 110. Zeer zeer lang. Opent. Links 110. Zeer zeer lang. Opent. Om wordt 50. Om wordt 50. Rechts 100 lang. Om wordt 50. Rechts 100 lang. Opent dat niet. Om links 100 lang. Open. Rechts 100 lang. Om links 100 lang. Open. Top. Om links 100 lang. Opent. Top. Om 50. Open top om 50. Rechts 100. Vroeg in lang. Open top om 50. Rechts 100. Vroeg in lang. Couperen.
Into.
Alistair McRae.
70. Flat right on crest tightens to minus in. Into easy left plus opens. 30. Braking flat left into right tightens long to slow easy minus. And opens. Times long to slow easy minus. And opens 50. Flat left minus 50. Flat left straight 70. Flat left and flat right on crest into flat right on crest 30. Easy left plus opens and flat right on crest braking 50. Left times to easy minus in 700.
Armin Schwartz is now your chauffeur.
Fast left, tighten to long medium left. 250. Very long fast right. Yes. Very long fast right opens. And 100 over crest to easy right. 100 long fast left.
Haen nypyli vähän vasen helppo alas 5. Lyhyt vasen eri plus sisältä.
And the feet of Harry
3
Rovanperä.
huomio, pitkä oikein go. Aukeen 100. Huomio, jarru.
Colin McRae at the wheel.
4 right plus line and opens. And turn 3 right minus. Into 6 left line. Into crest and long left tightens the 4 plus and opens the 6. And 6 right. Into 6 crest 250. 6 crest 70. K crest and 5 right minus opens line.
Carlos Sainz, the Spaniard.
Para uno corto, Sassar, derecha calenta.
And the 4-time world champion, Tommi Mäkinen.
Pitkä K oikee miinus. Heti pitkä vasen eri.
And 50. Medium left plus 60.
Thomas Radstrom in action.
And 50 back right plus tighten the crest. Back right plus tighten the crest. 20. Crest and 10 medium right plus tightens. 10 medium right plus tightens. To crest. 50 caution crest and 10 back left. Hit. Thomas, come on.
Well, if you love the World Rally like we do, join us again on Saturday and Sunday for more same-day coverage of legs 2 and 3. Our coverage begins at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on Monday, it's Rally Extra as we review the weekend. Leg 1's final stage coming up. Stage 5, the last of the day, saw the rally move from day into night. Finally, Pirelli and Anand Finn struck back. Colin McRae set the fastest time and so consolidated the third place he'd snatched from Passinen. On board with Marcus Grönholm.
Ja Vaseri helppo. Nyppy-Vaseri helppo, 8 ja Vaseri miinus ja oikein nopea. Toista Vaseri miinus ja oikein nopea. Pois. 5 ja oikein nopea. 3 ja oikein tosi hidas. Tosi hidas. Vasen eri.
Mr. Consistent Grönholm was second fastest yet again, but it was enough for the lead to change hands. Rovanperä dropping to second place in the gathering darkness.
105. Pitkäryppy täys 7. Vasen helppo jatkaa vähän oikein täys 7. Lopussa vasen helppo miinus suppu. Nypyli. Oikein täys 5, oikein K plus 8. Nyppy täys 100. Pitkä nyppy täys 8.
But there'd be another snowbank to claim another victim. This time the Mitsubishi Lancer of Francois Delacour and Daniel Gradeloup. Like Schwartz on stage 4, the French pair would struggle on.
Droite 115 long en ciel, dans 75 mètres, droite 100 tard. Gauche à fond long.
Putain, on fait un temps là.
Allez, poche. Allez.
J'y arriveront jamais.
Allez, poche. Allez, poche. Push, allez, push!
So at the end of day 1, Marcus Grönholm leads the Swedish Rally by just 9/10 of a second. The two Peugeots are over 40 seconds clear of the only other man to win a stage today, Colin McRae. Juha Kankkunen heads the pack, chasing a point-scoring position with 7 through 12, covered by only 23 seconds.
Colin, a win on the final stage of the day, your third overall now, a very solid start to this rally.
Yeah, it was a good start. We had no real problems. Just unfortunate the gap between ourselves and the Peugeots is 40 seconds.
But you're surprised how small the margin is, just 0.9 of a second.
That is very nice. It's 1 second, but a little bit surprised is how far is the third car and other teams.
Why have you been trading places? You started leading the rally this morning and then you're leading at the end of the day. What happened in the middle there?
On the long stage, I think our position on the road was not really good. So Harry was quite a lot behind. It was cleaning.
Will it be the two Finnish Peugeot drivers who will still dominate at the end of day 2? And who else will join Tommy Mäkinen on an early flight home? Join us again tomorrow for the second day of the Swedish Rally. I'm your host, Ralph Shahid. See you tomorrow here on Speed Vision for leg number 2.